Salutations, Queen of Shade here, coming to you for another quick little message. And this one is a doozy. I want to give you a little backstory. When I was younger, that was in the 80s, I had an Uncle Sidney. That's his name, may he rest in peace. I say his name because I use his name a lot. I'll tell you about that later. But my Uncle Sidney was an amazing man. A talented man, a brilliant man, so brilliant that one of the universities in my area wanted to study his brain. And my grandmother said, no, because you're not going to put probes on my baby's brain. He literally would go to school in elementary school and do the entire school curriculum the first week of school and literally be sitting there with nothing else to do. And they would call my grandmother and say, he did the entire curriculum, the whole book. We have nothing else for him. So they had to move him up grades so that he would be stimulated. My grandmother's a brilliant woman and she passed it to all of us, each and every one of us. Even at times when they don't show it, brilliant. It just comes to us like that. So get this. He contracted HIV. He had it all my life. And it was always this fear in the 80s, scared to drink out of a cup after him. We didn't know. Scared to drink out of a cup after him, scared to use the toilet after him, scared to do a whole lot of things when he would come and visit, disinfecting, bleaching, doing all this stuff, never in his presence, when he had left, because we didn't know how the disease progressed. But as time went on, we learned that, you can't get it this way and you can't get it that way. And, just different things. Seeing that happen to him and him being my favorite uncle ever, it traumatized me really badly. Yeah, it traumatized me really badly because even as a child, I knew I was gay, even though I didn't have the wording for it, even though I didn't have the lingo for it. I knew I was attracted to boys, and that was something that came out of me quite naturally. So attracted to older men, just all kinds of stuff. So get this. Before I went to college, my Uncle Sidney did something with me. I'm going to tell you about it. Hold on. Before I went to college, my Uncle Sidney sat me down. And he dumped all of his horse pills. These were, and what you have to understand about this time, I went to college in 2000, still was relatively early in the landscape of, cures and treatments for the HIV virus. So he had these horse pills, and a lot of them from the 80s, they were experimental. Now we've got it down to, one pill, you take one pill, Okay, so get this. Back then, it wasn't like that. So he had all of these medications, all these big white pills. They were huge that he had to take. And these pills would do a number on him. I saw him wrapped around the toilet bowl, throwing up into the toilet. I saw the pain. I saw the devastation. I saw the fight that he had with HIV. And it just was something that traumatized me as a child. Do you understand me? Traumatized me as a child. I wanted no parts of it. That's why I would have sex sometimes and then not have sex for long periods of time, because I was always so scared that that's what happened to me, being into men, being into boys at that time, but now men. So what happened was he poured out all these pills on the table before I went to college. I was 17 years old. And he said to me, Kali, because that was my name before it was Bjorn. He said, Kali, you don't want this disorder. Please watch yourself in college. Use condoms. Wrap it up. I know it's like experimentation. He knew what I was. I know it's experimentation, but wrap it up. You don't want to deal with this. But I understood him. But it terrified me. It traumatized me. I didn't want anyone to touch me in college. I was so scared of everything. All the boys seemed to hate me and talk about me and, not be into me. But then late at night, call me on the phone and I'm talking to them and, they breathing into the phone. They, following me in the rec center. They watching me work out. It was a lot of private homosexuality going on there, in the name of, it's just college, we're experimenting, but I didn't want to be the experiment. I'll tell you about that later. Met a man, for a while. He was the main, but anyway, never had sex with him. So anyway, after that, I went out into the world, and coming home from college, I met a man whom I did not know had HIV, and we were intimate, and I was so scared that I was going to contract something because he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me. Hold on. The man never told me. The man didn't tell me. And what was sad is I had been there. I went to visit him. You know what the young gays do. I was a young gay. I was fresh out of college, and I was green. And I left my city. I didn't even choose a man in my city. I left my city and headed to New York. And I met a man there, and we got to know each other because we had talked on the phone, different things like that. Back in those times, we had AOL where you dialed up in the chat room, and that's how you met people. They had the gay for gay, men for men chat rooms back on AOL, and I'd sit on them all day, clogging up the phone line. Nobody could call because I was dialed up to AOL talking to these men all over. So he was one of them, and I met him in an AOL chat room, and we moved to the phone and began to talk. And it happened really quickly with gays. It happens really quickly with gays. So it's just neither here nor there. But what happens is I remember at that time I had some teeth issues because I hadn't gone to a dentist a lot as a child. So there were, different things. And I even had like a tooth that was like broken in my mouth. And it was bleeding while I was at school. And I knew I had to get it taken care of. And I did get it taken care of. But I got it taken care of after I saw him. So I basically, one of my favorite things to do, and I'm just going to say this, the Queen of Shade, I like fellatio. I'm a top, but I love to be oral. I'm just going to say that so you know that I love to be oral. I love that. Like, you don't understand. I love it a lot. So what happened was when I met this man, it's pertinent to the story. I'm not being freaky. Hold on. So it's pertinent to the story. So I was, performing fellatio on him a lot. And I had never experienced that, but he was a pre-ejaculator. So that would happen. And when he did that, it excited me because I was like, oh. Like I had never had a man, who had done that before. So it excited me and I would do it more and more and more to get that reaction, to get the, because he would squirt and I would be like, oh my God, so it was like an amazing thing. I'm a freak, y'all. I'm a freak. But anyway, that's not the moral of the story. Listen, pay attention. Yes, I'm a hoe. Pay attention. Anyways, when I found out like a day after being intimate with him, in like an all-night session kind of situation, where I was also the bottom, okay? Because when I was younger, I felt that I was feminine. I didn't know that blouses existed, that you could be a feminine top. I'm just very oral. So what happens is, I found out the next day, and when I found out from someone else, and they tried to warn me, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's too late!" Like when I found out, I literally felt like I heard a vase on a mantelpiece go and slide off the mantelpiece and smash and shatter into like a million pieces. In my mind, I heard that, and it was right before like my 20th birthday. So get this, I was traumatized by that. I thought, "Oh my God, I contracted HIV because orally I was bleeding and I had an open sore and this, that, and the other. And I just knew that I had it, okay? So I lived like that for quite some time, holding that secret, my shame. I'm holding that for a long time, and holding that shame and not telling anyone and being nervous about that also caused a lot of damage to me mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So, okay? So fast forward. After that experience, I was terrified of men with HIV. I ran from the idea. I didn't want to know them. I didn't want to be around them. I didn't want any interaction with men that had contracted the HIV virus. But look at this. Every time I ran away from that, I ran smack dab into it. I'd try to be intimate, and then the person would tell me, and they always told me later, and that always pissed me off. "Oh, by the way, I'm glad we use condoms and things like that because, I got HIV. Why the fuck didn't you tell me before so that I could make a choice?" That is a problem, but that's another problem. I'll tackle that in another video. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. So anyway, still being young, 20, 21, I met a man. And the man also never really told me, but I knew how to experiment to see. And I discovered through certain things that I did, he never wanted me to touch his ejaculatory fluid and just all these different things. I realized what I was working with. Differences in the body, differences in the face, just different things. He had it a while. And I was sitting downstairs because I fell in love with that man. That man ran around town. We were not exclusive. But I bottomed for that man for 6 or 7 years. And we had a long relationship and we weren't monogamous. We weren't even in a relationship. I was just one of the favorite booty calls. Anyways, when I found out, he was my favorite top. So it worked out. He was getting what he wanted. I was getting what I wanted, which really wasn't the bottoming because I'm a blouse. I'm really a feminine top, but we're getting off subject here. But I enjoyed it with him because he was so safe. Condoms and care and just an amazing, amazing, amazing sexual partner. It was so good. And it was so beautiful. The man, even to this day, is so beautiful, but I know his secret. Okay? So get this. I said to my grandmother, I was talking to my grandmother, the Queen Mother, the Duchess of Slade, just now. And I was regaling and talking about these different things in my life. And I said to her, every time I tried to run away from HIV, I ran smack dab into it. And I said, that always used to frustrate me to where I would go on long sabbaticals, no sex. Because every time I tried to be intimate with someone, I ran into it. And it terrified me. I did not want the disease. I do not want the disease. So that was the thing. Because I saw how it destroyed my uncle, a beautiful spirit, a beautiful man, a brilliant man, just really talented, really brilliant, genius of a man. And it really hurt me really badly. And that's the reason why I always felt some way towards HIV. So get this. I fell in love with that man. This one that I'm talking about that I saw regularly for about 6, 7, 8 years. And I realized something, he was so good and clean and this and that. Like I trusted him with my life. I trusted him with my life. And I used to have friends that would say, I don't understand how you can be doing this knowing that he has that. And I would say to them, because I'm safer with him. I know what he comes with, as opposed to sleeping with all these men and not finding out till later that they have HIV. Finding out after I've let it slip, meaning, the condom slipped off. That's all right. Please, you know how we have slip-ups. Listen, that was a problem. That was an issue. I didn't want that. So I was talking to my grandmother, the Queen Mother, and I said, every time I ran away from HIV, I ran smack into it. And then God spoke to me. He said, the thing that you were running from, because I was monogamous with this man, even though he wasn't monogamous with me. He was the only one I was fucking at that time for like 8 years. He said, every time you ran away from it, he said, I put you with it to keep you safe. Every time I ran away, God said to me, I put you with a man with HIV to keep you safe. How is it that God would tell me he put me with the very thing that I was running away from to keep me safe? That man was pristine about his hygiene. That man used condoms for everything. That man was so careful, and he took care of my young body, who wasn't really new to the world, hip to the world and all of these things. It really, really kept me safe. Now, mind you, you guys have heard me say, I slept with 85 men. I did. That was after him. I went out into the world because I realized, okay, I'm a blouse, so I need to do this. So then what I learned from him, I passed on. I never contracted the HIV virus. Never. But what happened was I took care with the men that I slept with. All 85 of them, I took care with their bodies. I wore condoms. I didn't play. No risque behavior. which is why I'm still standing here. And where my uncle contracted it, I'm 42 years old and I don't have it. But that's what blew my mind. God said, the thing that you were running from, I put you with to keep you safe. That blew my mind. See, people don't understand what we need in our lives. Not every man with HIV in the gay community is as conscientious about what they do. And it is terrible when they do not tell you their status. It is terrible when you find out that you have contracted something because this person played with you like he was completely 100% at his best, and he wasn't. And then there are some cases where he didn't know. Happens. I read a statistic back in like 2010 that said in the Black gay community, 1 in 2, 50% of our community has HIV. So what am I saying to you now? Hold on. What I am saying to you is sometimes in order to protect you, God will put you with the very thing that you're afraid of, terrified of, traumatized by. And you're trying to figure out why. But underneath that thing, no pun intended, you're the safest you will ever be in your life. That man and I stopped having intercourse because I realized I was a blouse. I wanted to be the top. And that man was so gracious to me after 6, 7, 8 years to switch roles with me. He switched roles with me. I had the absolute best, hottest sex with that man. And it made it even better because I was in love with him. To this day, I love him. We're not a good fit. He's living his own life. He's doing what he got to do. And as you can see, I'm over here talking to you fine people and building my legacy. He went his way. I went my way. But when we see each other in passing, it is nothing but love. And I will see him in passing because he's no slouch. He has money on it. But anyway, that's his business and not ours. But what baffled me, it made me cry as I was talking to my grandmother because God said, the thing that you were running from, I put you with to keep you safe. The whole time I was with him, I didn't sleep with anybody else. There was no need. He ran around because we were not exclusive. We were not even in a relationship. We were good sex partners. And that's what it was. And we grew into be more than just that. We built a rapport. We talked about serious things. He helped me with a lot of things. I remember one year, my apartment was so hot, he bought me an air conditioner. And it wasn't no little one. It was a good one. So, he did great things for me. But literally, God said to me, the thing you were running from, I placed you with to keep you safe. Sometimes your safety is in the lion's den. Sometimes your safety is in the shark tank. Now, that doesn't mean that you lose your wits. You keep your wits about you. You don't become relaxed. This is not where you belong. This is an abnormal situation, but you still are safer in this dangerous situation than you are anywhere else. And that God is not like man at all. Who would think to put you in the thing with the thing that you think is the most dangerous? Because you're safer with the danger. Sometimes we are safer in danger. You've got to understand that. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Sometimes you are safer in danger, which means you praying, you asking God, you're fasting, you're doing all these things. You're talking to your spiritual leaders. You're going to your tarot card readers. You're going to your psychics. You're consulting the divine. You're consulting the ancestors. And the answer is stay where you are. I want to move. I need bigger space. I need better surroundings to expand my business. But sometimes you are safer where the danger is. My brother tried to unalive me in this bathroom, this very bathroom I'm standing in, on this floor 3 years ago. My brother tried to unalive me coming out of the military and being schizophrenic. Tried to unalive me on the very floor where I do my videos. You have to understand, God don't make no punks. God don't make no punks. Gay, straight, or indifferent, God don't make no punks. He put me with the very thing I was afraid of. And it was also exposure therapy. Because the more I was around it, the more I understood how it worked, the more I understood how to protect myself, and not just myself, but the other person, it became less of a danger and more of a safe space. People with HIV are not the problem. Getting tested and knowing your status is. I am the type of person, because of those experiences, I will date, I will sleep with, I will be with men with HIV. You don't scare me anymore. Because I know what you come with. And we're going to use condoms. Plus, I'm the top, feminine as hell. I'm on PrEP. I'm taking the necessary precautions to protect myself and you. I never want a man to think because he has HIV that he doesn't have a shot with me. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I am an equal opportunity hoe. An equal opportunity hoe, okay? Because I am safer with what I thought was dangerous than I am with men that don't know their status or lie about their status. I have so many beautiful men that call me queen and follow me. And many of them have HIV. And I want you to know something. All of them could get it. They fine. All of them could get it. If they know how to lay on their back, because I'm not about them. But anyway, all of them could get it. Why? Because I'm no longer afraid of HIV. That's the moral of this story. God put me with it for so long that exposure therapy taught me to understand the disease, to understand the situation, and to be able to handle myself accordingly in the situation. They're not my problem anymore. A man with HIV is the least of my worries. Baby, bring your ass over here. Bring your ass over here, and I will give you the love that you've been missing, feeling like a leper, feeling like someone will not ever love you. Now, you can't keep me. I gotta be honest. You can't keep me, but I can give you a good time, multiple times. Bring you up to my level so you can enjoy the view. But baby, I'm not gonna marry you. So stop asking. That's a side thing. I'm not going to marry you. Stop asking. You know who you are. But anyway, understand, the only reason you need be afraid is when you don't educate yourself about the thing. So God put me with the thing so that I would have to be forced to educate myself. And educate myself I did. Men with HIV are welcome with me. It will never be a problem because I know how to protect me. And if I have to teach them how to protect themselves, I'll do that too. Hey, I am a teacher.
One-on-One with the Queen of Shade is back for Season 2. Expect new guests and some familiar faces that you may already know. Stay tuned. These are interviews, not interviews. A look at your humanity. Conversations worth having with your favorite Shade Queen and her gaggle of gorgeous guys. Invitations are currently out, and the RSVP list is building. Also, if you are a gorgeous guy or a glorified goddess and want to come on the show, email the show at guest@thequeenofshade.com. That's guest@thequeenofshade.com. The Queen of Shade is excited and cannot wait to talk to you all. Subscribe to the Queen of Shades YouTube channel to follow the show and to watch all 253 episodes of Season 1. Again, email the show at guest@thequeenofshade.com to come on the show. The Queen wants to talk to you. Be prepared for an outstanding season of conversation, intellect, laughter, tears, and love with the Queen and her amazing guest. You do not want to miss a single conversation of this season. Each guest was hand-selected by the Queen herself. Let's have a good time. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Watch now.
Salutations! My name is the Queen of Shade. I am an international recording artist, now streaming in 56 countries. I am a mentor and motivational speaker. And yes, I am a social media influencer. Interested in having conversations that will help you become the very best you ever thought possible? Interested in having conversations that help you reach your dreams, goals, and aspirations? Well, my dear, you have come to the right place. I can help you. For a price. But darling, it's worth it. If you are interested in anything that I have said, look me up. Once again, I am the Queen of Shade, and I can help you, bitch.
Turn that TV down.